Congratulations certificate to Bloomingdale Mac in recognition of successfully completing Yoni Steaming Practitioner. Okay. Yoni Steaming Practitioner training. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Access bars. Okay, access bars. What we got here? Reiki 1, Reiki 2. What? Reiki master? You're a master in Reiki? So you must know how to do like everything. You must be able to even charge people as much as you want to give this service. You know how to do EFT? Man, I always wanted that therapy. EFT 1, EFT 2? Get out of here. No, that's not what it's about, you guys. It doesn't matter how many certificates you get. It doesn't matter how long you go to school. It doesn't matter how much you study in the school system that is structured not by you or people who look like you that are in your best interest. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is the experience, because the experience is what raw awakens the knowledge that you already have within. When you go through these experiences, that is what true knowledge is about, because you know it, because you've seen it, you've experienced it. You don't know it from reading it. You know it from living it and being it. All right, you guys, let's just jump straight into it and let's talk about the education system, okay? When I'm talking about the education system, I'm describing today's education system, the westernized version of education, the Americanized version of education. And I have to specifically say America because I have gone to different schools in different locations. I've gone to school in Africa. I've gone to school inside of Asia. I've gone to school in the Middle East in Bahrain. And by far the worst schooling that I've ever had was inside of America. Okay. And a lot of people already know that America's school system is whack. But nonetheless, a lot of other places still implement these structures of school systems that has been projected from the narrative of the westernized civilization. Okay. So all of that is stripping away from your intelligence. And here's why. When we're talking about an education system, the first error is somebody else telling you what you need to know. You are the one that needs to understand and understand what it is that you already know so that you can apply more growth and apply more wisdom and experience with the things that you're already talented or gifted inside, as opposed of today's education system, which says, hey, you need to learn this subject, this subject, and on top of that, we're also going to brainwash you into taking a sort of philosophy or taking this narrative that we want to implement on society. So this is just a way to keep your mind trapped. This is what the education system is truly there for. It's to make sure that you are not expanding your consciousness and your awareness outside of a box. It's keeping you boxed into these different subjects, and it's also keeping you boxed in to learning these different subjects the way that they want you to learn it. When there's so much depth to it. There's so much depth to you and what you already know within yourself. You have access to knowledge. You have access to memories. You have access to all these different gifts and talents that you've already accumulated over a long past lives and all these different experiences that you feel drawn to in your life today are experiences and gifts and talents that you've already been through. You've already experienced it. And that's why it's so easy for you to go to a certain subject or a certain activity or a certain hobby or a certain talent. And so the education system really says, hey, we can't have people being too powerful. We don't want people to be powerful. We don't want people to understand what they're worth. We don't want people to understand what intelligence really is. I'm going to tell you what his story is all about so that you don't go and dive into your own history. And I'm going to narrate it and tell you a story the way I want you to see it. That's what the education system is all about. That's why when you do go to school, you learn more outside of school than when you're inside of school. On a personal level, all the different certifications that I have, yeah, they look good on paper, right? They look good on paper. They do serve a purpose inside of this modern world. But you got to make sure that you're milking the system and the system isn't milking you. You have to be able to have a higher level of awareness of the traps and the things that they have to really keep you tied up and not have you liberating and expressing yourself freely, and also expanding your level of awareness. So let's talk about intelligence for a second. What is intelligence? Because when we look at the education system, we're looking at an education system that says that your intelligence is, going to be defined by how long you went to school. That's what it's going to be defined by. It's going to be defined by what type of grades you got when you went to school. Okay? The subjects that we picked out for you, how good are you at this? So the problem here is that is not the definition of intelligence. Babies are intelligent. You were born intelligent. Animals are intelligent. Nature is intelligent. Energy is intelligence. Water is intelligence. When a bird knows where to fly, when to fly, that's intelligence. But can that bird sit down there and do a mathematic equation? No, but it might be doing mathematics inside of the sky. That's intelligence. Yeah, the baby may not know how to walk and may not know how to talk, right? From what the education system says, language is all about the English language. A baby may not know how to walk, how to talk yet, but they understand how to communicate. Because communication goes way deeper than just the English language. You can say to a baby, and the baby will know right away what you are saying, because it's going to start crying because it wants to get what it wants. It even understands that when it cries, mama comes and takes care of it. And then so anytime something's wrong, the baby will start to cry because the baby knows. And as the baby gets older into a toddler age, now this child is not just crying because it's uncomfortable and it needs mother's nourishment. It could be crying because it wants to get something out of the mother. It could be crying because it didn't get its way anymore. It's time for it to grow a little bit. It's time for it to mature, gain some different experiences. You are born intelligent. If you look at today's society, you have this backwards sense of thinking. You can take people inside of Africa that live inside of a village. And let's say their village, this is in the parts of Africa that are, really built up with big buildings and all this stuff. These are villages that have huts, which are very, very beautiful structures that have a lot of importance and are actually better homes than the European homes that have been made mainstream and made popular and made the right way to do things. When you look at these people that are inside of indigenous tribes and they're living in huts and they're not speaking English, only someone who feels threatened, scared, fearful, or pure ignorance is going to see that person and say, they're not intelligent. Okay, switch places with that person and let's see how long you survive. That person has experiences in different areas. We are all intelligent in our own ways. I'm just trying to break it down for you guys so you can understand that we're intelligent in our own gift. We are intelligent in the ways that we do things. We all have our own different gifts. And there is no education system that can provide anything for anyone, any child, any man, any woman, if they are going to tell you what you are going to learn. They may be able to tell you a little bit, right? Have some form of structure there. But for the most part, what's supposed to happen inside of the school system is not them giving you a bunch of homework. It's not them giving you a bunch of tasks to do. It's not them telling you what's wrong and right so that they can basically mold you into the fit type of person that they want to be inside of society. It's not about that. It's about the teacher observing the student and seeing where is this student at? What level is this student at? And let me meet them there. Now, what is this student really good at? He's really good at this. So let's put him in that and give him everything that he needs to learn there. Let's let him explore. In the American school system, you go to a field trip maybe once a year. Twice a year if you're lucky. In your average public school system, even your private school systems, you go to a field trip once a year, twice a year, if you're lucky to learn American history, which is wrong. It's all BS. And it's making you not be able to, it's so bad. It's so wrong, you guys. I really just have to say it's so wrong, because what happens when you learn these things is when you come out of this school system, and let's say you're somebody who wants to be very knowledgeable and really wants to learn the depth of a subject or the depth of a thing, if you're really trying to access some real stuff, you'll realize that you have to do so much work to unlearn what the schools taught you in order to learn how to really survive inside of the real world. Because what the school system teaches you, it teaches you how to be trapped and how to be okay with limiting yourself. It teaches you that what you need to do is go to school and find your life purpose and work on your life purpose. Work and make money. That doesn't make sense. And here's where the red flag pops up. How can somebody else tell you what your purpose is? Your purpose for life, what it is that you are meant to do in life, is being taught and fed to children from such a young, fragile age. And some people go on to slave away and get their masters and all these things. And then they're working the same 9-to-5 job, in and out, up until death. Having a family and then sending their children into school. Why are we sending our children into school? This doesn't make any sense. The mother and the father are the teacher. They're the ones that are teaching. The mom is teaching, the dad is building. But either way, they're both instilling wisdom into the child. But if you just send your kids off to the school, you've never met the children, the teacher before, and you're telling the kids, yeah, this is good, then we're all just sleepwalking. Really, we really are. Because when it comes to learning, you really are learning from your parents 24/7. Up until you're even a teenager, you're still learning from your parents. You're still embodying them. You're seeing what they do. You're learning from their mistakes. You're doing what it is that they're telling you. Or maybe you're resistant to it, but either way, it's going to cycle back around where that lesson is going to come. There's a lesson there. So you guys, it's so important to understand how destructive and how limiting the school system is for you. Because you are the one who is supposed to go through a sacred experience to understand and understand. It comes from within you. Your intellect and your wisdom comes from within you. And it's your sacred experience to find and discover that out for yourself. No one's saying don't go to school. That's not what I'm saying. Just make sure that it's not milking you. And make sure that you're aware of the bigger picture. Socrates, he is not the one that is philosophical, you guys. He's not the one that's philosophical. Socrates, all these people, they went into Kemet to learn everything that they know. Know thyself. That's exactly what I'm trying to point out here. It's about you knowing thyself. Socrates is not even the one that came up with that phrase, know thyself. He took it from Kemet. So there's all these things that have been applied for everybody to live under when everyone's not the same. You guys, my channel is inclusive. It has to be. I'm on YouTube. There's terms of conditions. It's not it's not my this is my channel, but this is not mine. So it has to be inclusive. But I will say that if you think that we are all the same when it comes to physically being here in this physical realm, that Black people and white people, people with more melanin inside of them, and people that stem from a completely different genes and completely different DNA strand, which DNA is really just melanin, you guys. They renamed melanin and they put DNA there. But basically it's different because the melanin is different because when you dive into the blood work of a Caucasian person, you will actually find a completely different breed in there, which makes them a Neanderthal. And this is just a fact. And for those reasons, it's like we're different species. We move differently. You guys, we do things differently. And the way that we are supposed to learn, the way that we are supposed to live as Black people, as melanated people, as people who are very in tune and very connected with nature, the way that we are supposed to learn and live our lifestyle is in complete opposite of how a lot of us are living our lifestyle today. You guys, the whole premise of this video is just to shine light on the education system and shine light on your own ability, your own power. You are powerful. You are so strong. and you're so capable of so much more. If you feel the sense of wanting to know your life purpose, if you're watching every single video, every single reading because you want to know what is my life purpose, start off with going within yourself. Start off with expanding your mind, expanding your perspective beyond the narrative, beyond what it is that the schools taught you. If you see information about Black history before slavery, dive into that because it exists. It exists. We didn't come into existence on the slave trade. We didn't come into existence then. If you feel like you want to know more about aliens, if you feel like you really have this pull about aliens, you may be able to unlock something beautiful. You may be able to get so much experience and wisdom when it comes to aliens. And maybe you'll open your mind and see that how is it just us? Who knows what you're going to find? The whole idea of everything is being able to explore, because you don't want to be a slave to the system. Because going into school, having them tell you what your life purpose is, having them feed you a bunch of stuff from preschool all the way to high school, and some people may know what it is that they want. Some people need to dive deeper and get a more in-depth sacred experience. And by that time, you've learned every single thing except for what it is that you actually love to do and what it is that you're actually gifted and talented in. And in some cases, you go into this college or you go into this school and you can't make up your mind. You get out and you realize that this certificate doesn't even really help you. It helps you a little bit, but now you got to work in order to get experience. And you're still working on something that is not your life purpose. The westernization civilization and the Hellenized civilization takes true spirituality out of the equation completely. With everything they do, with everything they touch, with everything they create, with everything they mandate, with everything that they teach, it is all just to keep you at their level of wisdom, or that level of wisdom, because you're powerful. When you start living the lifestyle, when you start eating the way that you are meant to eat, when you start living with nature, when you start experiencing your subtle body, understanding your emotions, understanding energy, emotions, energy in motion, understanding all of these different things, understanding your history. When you get to the point where you start to understand all of these things, you will truly, truly never, ever feel obligated or tied down to work for the oppressor. You're not oppressed because you know thyself. And that's what it's all about. So you guys, intelligence is not determined by the language you speak, because dolphins are extremely intelligent communicators and they can understand without needing to understand the words. They are able to hear at a different level. You can see that and you can hear it yourself when you hear how they communicate. Imagine how they listen. Imagine how they hear based off of the type of wave that's coming out of their vocals, right? Intelligence is not determined on whether or not you're able to focus your attention in school. You have them taking you outside of a team taught class and putting you in a one-on-one class and calling it a special education class. So you're special for being in this class. And it's ironic because you're calling these individuals special, which they should totally get out of that name, yet you're making them feel isolated from the rest of the pack. And in those one-on-one education classes, a lot of those I was in one-on-one classes. They put me in there without even saying why. But they will actually not even spend that one-on-one time with any of the kids unless you have a really good teacher, which doesn't come by all the time. All these different names like Asperger's, autism. Have you seen their gifts? How dare you say that these people that are highly intelligent and whatever it is that they're good at or whatever it is that they're drawn to, they are so intelligent in it. How dare you disrespect these people by telling them that they have a disability? You see that? They get all the bright ones, all the people who are like spacing out, that are like, this isn't interesting to me. What's happening outside the window? This isn't interesting to me. What's happening outside the window? That was me. I don't want to do this math. I'm busy imagining. I was just so creative and so in the arts, and I still am. But I was so much in it when I was younger. And they saw that and they were like, okay, maybe, I'm thinking they thought I just wasn't focusing. They took me and they gave me some weird flashcards with all these different paint slobs on it and told me, what do you see in the office? What do you see? Okay, now try and make all these different things and stuff that are not based off of anything that we have made. As Black people, we ain't make any of this stuff, yet we're going by their rules. And they went and said, okay, we're gonna put you in a special class. So anyone who sees that the education system is bullshit is basically being put in a special class so that they can gain some type of humiliation for not paying attention to what they want and instead paying attention to what your heart desires. And even at a young age, yes, you have to have discipline, you have to have structure, but not everybody is meant to be working 9 to 5 every single day. Some people are meant to work for themselves. Some people are meant to build a colony or build a family or build, men build, females create, birth, seeds spread, accumulate. Some people are not meant to be doing that 9 to 5 stuff, and it's not for them. So you guys, this video is getting lengthy, but that's the major points that I just wanted to make, is that there's a spiritual aspect that's not there in the education system, and there are aspects that have nothing to do with us as melanated beings when it comes to the westernized education system. There's a lot of things that are just so backwards, even from the buildings that they have, where their buildings for homes and living look more like a jail cell, look more like a hospital, and look more like a prison, where our natural homes look more like it's one with nature. You get fresh air, you get the sun, you get all these things. Anyways, you all, I really hope that you liked watching this video. Like I said, this is an all-inclusive channel, but I'm not going to sit here and just, not spread the truth and things I'm going to explain it to all the way that I can, all right? So if you guys are liking this video and you want to see more of my spiritual guidance videos, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Actually like the video so you can help to support me, and check out my website. The link is in the description box below, where I have handmade jewelry and I have all of my healing services that you guys know I'm certified in, but it takes experience. So I have experience in those areas. Check out all my stuff, guys, and I'll see you inside of the next video. Bye bye.